Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Legion Reviews, the Loki series. That's right, we're going to be taking a look at Loki. I'm a huge Marvel fan. I thought WandaVision was pretty good. It had an interesting premise to it. Falcon and the Winter Soldier had some pretty good points to it too. Now, in my opinion, were they up to the par of the MCU? I definitely had my issues with them, and I'm not going to post this. I'm not going to do television and movie reviews on my main channel, Legion Games 2076, anymore after this video because, unfortunately, in today's world, people can be a little sensitive about their movie reviews. So I'm going to be moving this over to Legion Talk. So if you want to check that out, it's just my name, Legion, and then it's Talk. So TALK, and you can find that, and you'll recognize a similar symbol. It's going to be in black, red, and gray, just much like what the symbol I have now, just a little bit different. So, anyway, without that being said, we're going to be taking a look at. I'm going to be using Void Cat Comics to kind of land some of the points here and let them do a little bit of review. I'm going to kind of compare and contrast and stuff like that. Obviously, everybody knows for the most part now, what Loki was about. If you don't, I'm not going to spoil too much of that, so we're going to scroll forward here. You know, obviously we know Loki gets the Tesseract at the end of Endgame. He disappears, and they find the TVA because he becomes a variant, and he's set to hunt his female self now. So, one thing that I did like, I like the fact that they gave Loki, I'm going to actually set up a little bit here. One thing that I did like about is that they gave Tom Hiddleston an extra chance to shine, because Tom Hiddleston as Loki is phenomenal. He does a great job. There is a little bit of a hiccup in my opinion, because in Avengers, the original Avengers, where he disappeared from back in 2012, that Loki's a little bit different. He's kind of under the will of Thanos, and he's a lot more uncompassionate. So I feel like they kind of took the Loki of maybe right before Thor Ragnarok, not quite good, but not quite bad yet, because obviously by the end of Ragnarok and the Avengers Infinity War, Loki redeemed himself. So anyway, that was a little bit of a kind of a shaky thing for me. Now, I did like the first episode because it kind of set the ground rules, and it actually let Loki take a look at his life. I did like that. I did like watching Loki look back on the events of the MCU and seeing his life, because it actually brought nostalgia for me, and that was actually kind of fun, something I really enjoyed. And when he gets a little teary-eyed, watching his own life and all the good moments he had between Thor and all that stuff, and it even actually was a little emotional for me, because you remember those moments, you're so excited about them. And obviously with Endgame, the MCU, the Infinity Saga is complete, and that's what we know and love, and it may never be the same, and I'm going to be honest with that. It's hard to carry on what was so good from before. It's one reason that sequels are not always as good as the original. So, with that being said, going forward, they made Sylvie out to be this big criminal time variance. I definitely see why they did a little bit in the first place, but at the same time, once Loki meets her, she's a little underwhelming. It's like she goes from this mysterious dark figure who's doing these evil things to she's just like this mischievous woman who is on the path to get rid of the TVA. She's not trying to necessarily destroy the universe. So it felt a little flat. So that was something. There was definitely some moments too. They made our Loki a little bit, not as lesser than her, so to speak. She seemed to be supposedly more powerful in the beginning. I was a little iffy about that. It felt a little submissive, kind of maybe it just it felt off, because our Loki is our Loki, who is the original Loki. So to make her more powerful, it kind of it kind of seemed a little. I don't know. It seemed a little. It just kind of seemed to fall flat with me. I didn't really care for that. Maybe more cunning, or maybe the fact that well, obviously she knew more. That would have been more than enough to make her, a formidable opponent for Loki. She didn't necessarily have to be more powerful. She knew things he didn't. So he was running to play catch up. That would have been just enough. It's kind of like, the movie Catch Me If You Can. They're on equal playing field, but one knows more. So the Tom Hanks's character is always, 3 steps behind trying to catch up to Leonardo DiCaprio's character. I don't want to make this too long, not longer than 10 minutes. So, we're gonna read just a smidgen of this. Um, I did like the TVA being brought in, the time variant and stuff like that. I wish we would have learned a little bit more where the TVA came from. It kind of the whole thing of he wasn't Kang the Conqueror. He was Kang the uh, maybe the delusional. He was eccentric. He was very eccentric. Kang the Conqueror is just an advanced human from the future, who from the year like 3000 and like 21 or something like that. I can't remember the exact date, but from the year 3000. So he's a super he's an advanced human who has all the knowledge, and I felt that to have Kang in charge of the TVA making all the decisions, it kind of erases all the free will of the past of the Infinity Saga, and I don't like that. I'm gonna flat out say it. I do not like that. I feel like they could have brought Kang in a different way to create the multiverse, but to have him sitting at the head of the TVA saying, "Oh, I've been in control of all of this," and up until this point, now after this point, I don't know what's going to happen. Because I've only been in charge since this point, and everything after this is going to be, is where the multiverse eventually splits because Sylvie kills him. I didn't like that. It kind of erases what it erases what the Infinity Saga did, and I've been on the fence about this. The Infinity Saga is something to me that can never be duplicated. It can never be done again, and it's something that I'm kind of leaning toward. I did like Loki as a series because we got more Tom Hiddleston, we got more weird kind of like Ragnarok stuff, which was really cool. I love seeing the alligator. He was fun. I love seeing original kind of old school Loki with his shambly uniform and stuff like that. That was a lot of fun. I think that was a great call to nostalgia. Um, I do like how they did intertwine different things from the world when they're on the kind of the purgatory planet, so to speak. From different worlds thrown in there. That was a lot of fun. So I think there were good things and there were bad things. They kind of erased a lot of what the MCU meant, because I think the time travel thing in Endgame was a little sloppy. I do understand why they did it, but it was a little sloppy. Maybe they could have found a different way than time travel. I'm not hating on it because obviously I love the movie. I saw it 6 times in theaters. But that was probably the extreme that I would have went to. Now, when you're talking about the time variant, the time variant association, um, just having Kang in charge is not even the Conqueror, but just kind of like Kang the neutral, or the, the eccentric, or whatever he is, because there's multiple variants, which is something that I do understand. There is a multiverse out there, so that's perfectly fine. I think we could have instituted it in a better way. Instead of him being in control, he could have just been kind of like the overseer of it, and they didn't allude to that. They alluded that all the decisions made were decisions that he allowed to happen. I didn't like that. It's kind of like he was like this grand architect. Like, I kind of feel like they tried to do a little bit of the Adjustment Bureau movie, and it kind of felt a little. It kind of felt a little flopped. Because in the Adjustment Bureau movie, it's about the fact that humans have free will, and even though there's supposedly a path set out for us, is that if you change the plan, the life will always go the way of free will, in a sense. There was an original plan, so he could have just been like overseer, I guess. Just been like, oh, okay, this is going this way, this is going this way. He could have saw those 14 million outcomes, and he's like, this is the possibility that, that would have been easier, because like Doctor Strange saw all of that, and he said we have one chance. And in Endgame, he's Tony even asked, he's like, which one are we on? And he's like, that was good stuff. That was good stuff. So I felt it should have shifted more that direction instead of Kang was pulling the strings. That's how it felt, and I did not care for that. So I know that I've talked over the time limit. I didn't give away too much. I definitely gave away some stuff. I gave away stuff I liked, stuff I didn't like. So hopefully this movie review finds you well. I'm still getting my movie review legs underneath me, and hopefully we'll do, we'll get better at it in the future. But I will put this on Legion Games 2076. But please, for future movie reviews, if you want to talk about pop culture, if you want to talk about movie reviews, or you want to talk about stuff going on in the world, follow me. Go to Legion Talk. That is my more serious channel. Legion Games 2076 is about fun. It's about having a good time. It's about, listening to great music, watching great movie trailers, and playing video games, and just coming together. Obviously, Legion Talk is a little more serious channel, and that's why I've kind of divided them in separate directions. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please go to Legion Talk and find me there, and I'll see you guys. Thanks for watching.